What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Sports Arena. I'm your man, Eric Wilson. Special start time tonight, 9:30 this evening, and for a particular reason. Uh, so last week, there was the WNBA playoffs are in going on even as we speak right now. And a conversation started because of a video that I put out after speaking to Connecticut Suns head coach Kurt Miller. He explained the travel situation for both the Connecticut Sun and the Chicago Sky. It sparked a conversation between myself and my next guest, but I want to give y'all kind of take you back so you can see exactly what him and I are probably going to be talking about a lot this evening. So here's the video that I put out.
I want you guys to hear this. I'm pretty sure that Chicago has to take 4 separate flights to get home. We have tomorrow to travel on 3 separate flights in order just to keep these pro women out of middle seats. In the middle of the semifinals, these 2 teams are taking 7 flights to get home from multiple different airports. So tomorrow is going to be off, I'm assuming, for both of us. And then we're going to get back to work. But that's what this league goes through. That's what these amazing women, the best in the world at what they do, go through. Is we are taking 3 separate flights, our 20 member travel party. We had the luxury of, sitting out with a bye, knowing we were going to be home. So we've had weeks to know that we were going to travel tomorrow morning to get to either Chicago, Phoenix, or Seattle when it became after the first round. And we have flights booked to all 3 of those places. Chicago, as it became clear, our travel tomorrow is on 3 separate flights, 2 separate airports, divided up in order, and not only, but in order to try to keep some of our players that are much taller than I am out of middle seats. I've been told that it's a very similar case for Chicago, which would not surprise me since we probably had booked our flights sooner than Chicago did. And that was going to be the case no matter if we went to Seattle, Phoenix, ultimately it was Chicago. We were going to be on multiple flights in multiple airports in the semifinals of the best women's league in the world.
So, as you can see, that sparked a lot of conversation once I put that out there. And so my next guest, he made some comments with regards to the WNBA versus the NBA. And we didn't really go back and forth much because, as y'all know me, I always say I'm not a hard man to find. So I decided to bring him on the show so we could have this conversation. I always welcome the comments from everybody, but enough from me. Let me go ahead and get him in here. This is Mr. Ray Lynn, sport reporter without pay. Good evening, sir.
What's going on, Mr. Eric? How you doing, man?
I'm well, sir. Thank you for joining me here tonight. I do appreciate your time.
I appreciate you having me, man. I wish I could have got on here under different circumstances before, but we bound to do this again, I'm sure.
Exactly. This will not be the last time that you see this man on the show. So let's dive right into it, because our conversation, I think, is one that a lot of people, I think there are some misconceptions, maybe on both parts. But I just want to talk to you about it because I feel like we can have a professional, legitimate conversation. Now, we're going to get heated because you are one way, I am another. That's just going to happen. But let's get into it, because some of what you said, I just don't agree with. So I'm going to let you voice your opinion first, and then we'll just take it from there.
So I did a show last night with Tyrus Ray over at Say What Said Again, and this topic came up, and I said I'm gonna try and save some of this for tomorrow. But like I said, being an African American man in this country, I know what it's like to be a minority and to feel slighted, to feel mistreated, and you want your voices heard, right? And I feel like when there's a minority group, the rest of the masses who aren't a part of that minority group are usually put in a position where it's like you have to overly support them, right? So what I think is happening with the WNBA is people feel like they have to take a side. Like if you don't firmly stand with them and what they're crying out about, then you're against them. And it's like, that's not the case. Like we got to have some common sense. When you see these memes floating around about the difference between pay with Sue Bird and LeBron James. It's like, well, where's the money going to come from? So like women, not women, the WNBA, like they want equal. They don't want equal. They want a handout. They want a charity case because they haven't put in the work that the NBA has put in. They don't have the revenue that they have. So they can't expect the same amenities. The NBA didn't start off doing commercial flights. The NBA didn't start off with players making hundreds of millions of dollars, right? They started off at the bottom. They built their product up. They put a product out that people wanted and were able to now have the revenue to pay the players what we see them paying, for players to have the amenities and accommodations they have, to be able to fly first class or fly, commercial, and then to stay in the nicest hotels. Like that happened over time. It wasn't always that way. I'm assuming at one time and point in time, they were probably catching buses to games, right? Like none of us are going to raise hell about a minor league baseball team, right? I watch videos with Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players ever, right? Catching a bus with a minor league baseball team. Nobody gets mad when they have to catch a bus. They catch a bus because that's what their funds afford them to do. The WNBA don't have no money. It's just that simple. And I don't think a lot of people know that during their collective bargaining, the reason they can't fly commercial is they kind of put out a rule that basically says if one can't have it, nobody can have it, right? Like there are some owners who have the money that can afford it. Everybody don't, so they won't let nobody do it. So then what do you do from there? They don't have the money. I mean, that's like cut and dry to me. They just don't have the money as far as pay, as far as the accommodations, as far as being able to fly here and there. Like people got upset about Phoenix not being able to host their playoff game. If I own that arena, I'm going to get more money from this Disney on Ice. I'm going to get more money from this than I am the 2,000 people that are going to show up for this playoff game. I'm in this to make money. I'm not in this to save people feelings. Just is what it is.
I take all your points, and I do, but I want to touch on each one of them. The first one that you spoke about was the amenity situation, or the equal pay, if you will. The WNBA is not asking for equal pay. They understand that this is a marathon, not a sprint, okay? But they have put 25 years into this. And when I look back and I look at the beginning of this, and I am just as guilty as the person who has never watched a WNBA game. It took me until the bubble for me to get in. But once I was in, I was all in. I was committed. You know what I'm saying? From a media standpoint and from a fan standpoint. So I feel it is my obligation and my job right now to support this brand, because it is, if you will, in its infancy. It's only 25 years. I get that. But the women aren't looking for a handout. What they're looking for is an opportunity to showcase their talents on the highest level. That platform was given to them. They asked for it for years, I'm sure. When they finally got it in 1996, okay, that was the start of something. They're not looking for $1 million contracts. Do I feel they've earned those contracts? Yes, I do personally. It's 144 women, the best of the best. There are women today in their just fresh out of college who should be in the WNBA, but they're not, because there needs to be an expansion. And I talked about this with the commissioner during the All-Star game, and I asked, when is that going to happen? You have all this talent just sitting out there. But I understand it's the cream of the crop. It's the best of the best. So with that comes a sense of responsibility by the NBA. If you are going to support this organization, which is, if you will, a subsidiary or an off-brand of your huge conglomerate, then put the investment in there. Now, you talk about, they should be given this. No, they shouldn't. They've earned it. 25 years? You tell me a business that has sustained for 25 years with all the obstacles and hurdles that the WNBA has had to go through, so and still be given not the recognition that they deserve. These women have gone and played here in the country, in the greatest country in the world, the United States, then have gone overseas and played for different countries just to maintain a decent living, not a absorbent legacy lifestyle, a decent living. Now, yes, they have their endorsements, they have their foundations, they have different revenue streams coming in, but it still doesn't amount to what would be an athlete. Let's take the gender out of it. What an athlete should be paid in this day and age. Okay. This is the same thing could be said about the U.S. women's soccer team. The U.S. women's World Cup Olympic soccer team. They are outplaying the men year in and year out. And that's once every 4 years. So then you want to talk about, then you want to dive into, they're broke. They're not broke. Where's the money going to come from? How about we take Even if we take 1% from these owners of the NBA, these 32 owners, take 1% and say, we're going to invest it. If you don't take the 32, take the 12 that the cities are in and put that into the WNBA. So you mean to tell me New York, Chicago, Atlanta, Indiana, Seattle, Dallas, Minnesota, Phoenix, and the rest. And I'm sorry that I'm forgetting the other ones. I'm just caught up in the playoffs right now. But you take those teams and you invest that money back into the WNBA. You're getting year-round business in an arena. You're getting year-round merchandise, okay? What I don't get and what I have a huge problem with, and I spoke about this as well, was the whole Phoenix not being able to play game 3 of the WNBA finals in their home stadium. Diana Taurasi is the GOAT. Let's cut all the other BS aside. That woman for the last almost 2 decades has put this organization on her back and has stepped up time and time again and proven, whether she's injured, whether she's, it doesn't matter, her physical, if she's on the court, she's a lethal threat. She is a multi-time championship. She's a multi-time gold medal Olympus. And you're going to tell me that Disney on Ice and potentially is going to make you more revenue than, you say 2,000. It's probably going to be closer to 4,000 or 5,000 people, because if they know Diana Taurasi could potentially be playing one of her final games, you're going to come see an icon play. It's just like people who went to see Michael Jordan for his last ride. Now, I'm in no way comparing the two. What I'm saying, the greatness of one and the greatness of another. Okay, this isn't, and no disrespect to these women, but it's not a Skylar Diggins Smith. It's not a Breonna Stewart. This is Diana Taurasi. You mean to tell me when Sue Bird did play her final game against Phoenix, you mean to tell me that arena wasn't packed? I beg to differ. All right. These women, all they are looking for from my eyesight. Now, this is my IQ and my eye test. What I am seeing is they have stood up for so much and taken the reins for so much for 25 years. And you mean to tell me the NBA, which is the big brother, the conglomerate, it's one thing to show up and support these women. It's another thing to put your money where your mouth is. And that's what's not happening. And that is what I have a problem with. The fact that a woman 6'5", 6'6", and above can't be with her entire team to fly to a different city to play a WNBA playoff game. That to me is disheartening. That to me is the WNBA and, more importantly, the NBA not doing their job.
So there's a couple of untruths. Like when people say the NBA doesn't support or not putting where their money at. The NBA subsidizes the WNBA. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for the NBA, the WNBA would be upside down. They would be in the red. The NBA subsidizes them. They give them money. I don't know why people don't know this. It's right there for everybody to research. The NBA subsidizes them, right? And when people say, like you said, they don't want a handout, and then you turn around and suggested a plan, that's a handout.
That's not a handout. That's an investment. That's an investment in what you have given this platform for. You created
like somebody owes them something. Don't nobody owe them nothing. You're saying the NBA, these owners, the owners who did whatever they did in their life, whether they worked hard or whether they daddy handed them a fortune, however it happened, right? These owners, you're saying when people are in business, they're in business to make money. So you're saying these owners who own teams and they have a revenue stream coming in, you're saying they should be obligated to take a percentage of it and just give it to the WNBA.
I'm not saying, okay, so 1% is, you're saying 1%. You're considering that 1% to be a handout?
It is. It's their money. Like, it's just like welfare. I ain't a fan of welfare. We're saying that because you're better off, right? Because whoever have worked hard to put you in the position you in, the least you could do is take 1% of your money and give it to them. That's a handout.
That's not a handout. That's an investment. If you're going to make a return on that investment, welfare is completely different. That's 1% investment of your money that could return what the WNBA is creating. Why do you think Commissioner Engelbert is going through to find a different revenue streams to be able to broadcast these games through Google, through Facebook, through Amazon Prime?
They're trying to build their brand, which is what they should be doing. That's like me getting on this live and telling you, you should invest in Doge, and if you don't do it, you're wrong. I can't tell you where to put your money at. It's your money.
But if I make a return on it and I trust you, okay, but if I trust you and you come to me and say, E, I got this thing you need to hit up right now. And I trust your opinion because I've seen what you've been able to create. And then that return not only makes me money, but makes you money as well. How is it not a win-win?
It can be a win-win. Let's understand that. What you're saying can work.
Okay.
the owners decided to do so. Where raise issue come in, where the sports reporter without pay issue coming in, where people act like they're mandated, they're obligated, or something they should do, and they're wrong if they don't. They're not wrong if they don't. Nobody owes them anything. Nobody was giving anything to the NBA. They built their brand, so much so that the ABA had to go under. That was their competition. And they got so big that the ABA had to fold and either get right or get left. You're either going to join us or you're going to get left behind, right? So the WNBA, who really has no competition, got to continue to pound that pavement and build their brand. If nobody decides to come along and just hand them money, which is what you're saying, just give them the money, right?
I'm not saying give them the money. There's a business plan in place.
Invest the money, right?
That's what I'm saying. Invest. You're going to get a return on this investment. 25 years. This isn't a 5 or 10 year organization. This is 25 years.
Where our dissension is coming at is the idea that somebody owes them, like you're saying they deserve this because they put it 5 years. For what? You don't like you don't deserve anything. You only deserve what's there and what's available. Like when NBA players get all these crazy contracts and the players of yesteryear get upset and go, man, if I was playing in this, well, you're not playing in this day and age. They just happen to be playing right now, and the CBA mandates that this is what they can make, so they get it. You can't just pay these women money that's not there. Like the NBA makes about 7.4 billion. The WNBA makes 60 million. How are we comparing the two? Like, how are we saying that they should be paid more? They should get this. They should get that. They shouldn't get anything. And no, when I say they shouldn't, I don't mean I'm against them getting it. I mean, they're not. It's not their right. It's not a right to say they automatically are supposed to have these things just because of their existence.
Automatically would be because they just came into the league and because they're women and we're just going to shower them and give them their flowers immediately. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they have worked 25 years, fought through every obstacle, done what everyone has asked them to do, and then some. And you mean to tell me after that body of work, you cannot see it within yourself to say, okay, these women have earned this. That's what you're saying to me, because that's what I'm hearing from you. Because what I'm saying to you is 25 years, that is a body of work. It ain't 5, it ain't 10. It's a quarter of a century. And every year they've gotten better. So why has the NBA not made more of an investment into this organization?
Because they're not obligated to. Like we're saying.
So then why give them the WNBA in the first place? Why open the door and give them the platform if you're not going to make the investment after they've shown you that we will conquer every single obstacle in front of us?
Listen, man, people don't get into business to give away money. People get into business to make money. So if you've done this for 25 years and it still ain't enough, like you've done it for 25 years, and in 25 years, in the year 2021, the average attendance at a WNBA game was 2,636 people, or 363, something like that, right? 2,500. Let's call it that to be safe.
For what year? Wait, hold on. What year?
For 2021, right now, this season that just about to end, that's why I gave that number 2,000. Average attendance is about 2,500 people. Average ticket sales is about between $17 and $20. That's average. It's some less, it's some more, right? So in 25 years, that's what you have for me. If I'm a business owner, if I wasn't an NBA team owner, I'm just a businessman, and you come to me, you give me this prospectus and say, I've been doing this for 25 years, and in 25 years, here's my following. I'm averaging. You ever watch Shark Tank when they go,
yes, I watch it all the time.
Sell it for, right? So if I was sitting there, if I'm Mark Cuban sitting on Shark Tank and I go, wait a minute, you've been doing this 25 years, and in 25 years, you only got 2,500 people showing up to your games? You only selling your tickets for $20 a ticket? Where's my money going to come back from if I invest it?
Okay.
You're not making no money, so I'm just going to give it to you for what?
All right. Your argument with 2021 can't hold water because of COVID. I want to go back to 2019, because 2019, I think, is the realest look we can look and see number-wise what sales were, from merchandise to tickets to concessions to everything else. So that's why I'm saying to you, I can't look at 2021. Now, if we take 2019, where ticket sales were, I know for a fact, ticket sales were at least $70 to $100, and lower seats were probably more. And again, 2020 and 2021 kind of messed us up. People are just now getting back to. So let's go take 2019. If you want to take next year, 2022 and 2019, and then compare them numbers, then I could agree with your sentiment of going in front of a Mark Cuban or a business owner and saying to them, here is what we did. But again, I'm saying the NBA, David Stern created this. David Stern opened the door for this to happen. Adam Silver has continually let this happen, meaning these women were given a platform to play on the highest level. They have a shortened season, and we're not even giving them, in my opinion, and again, this is me talking. This ain't nobody else. They are not given the same amenities and the same just basic decency, in my opinion, that an NBA take an NBA player at their 25 year. What were they doing? That's what I want to know, because these women have traversed so much to get to this point, to where now I'm telling you, you don't want to give them charter flights. That's fine. In my opinion, they've earned it. You got a 20-man woman team, and you mean to tell me they can't charter a flight, a 4-hour flight, or even 3 hours from Connecticut to Chicago or wherever the case may be? Like, that's what I'm saying. The NBA needs to do more. Adam Silver and Commissioner Kathy Engelbert need to get in the room and figure this out, because you're talking about, I mean, just basic as an athlete. We put athletes on a pedestal. We give them. We do as media and as individuals.
That's the problem.
We feel as though you are the best of the best, so you deserve that. And these women aren't even getting that.
But that's the thing. That's like, I don't think you're saying anything wrong per se. I just don't agree with it. Like, I don't, this idea that anybody is owed anything, like you keep using this word deserve. They don't deserve nothing. Like, they're paid thousands of dollars. I'm gonna say thousands. They ain't getting paid millions of dollars. Right. Average WNBA salary is about 70,000, right? Highest paid player, Brittany Griner, 120 or something like that, right? So they're getting paid thousands. But then again, here's the catch to that, right? We talked about this last night. Don't say what, say it again. They're getting paid what they're paid for about 3 months worth of work, right? So if the average salary is 70,000, right? That prorates over a 12-month period to about 280,000, right? On average for a year. They don't get to play the whole year, but 70,000 for 3 months, that's what it prorates to. So no, they're not making what NBA players are making, but they're making more than the average Joe, right? They're making money to play a game, right? That's the one thing about athletes, is like, they're making money to play a game, and it's like, they deserve more. They deserve more. You can only get what's there. Like, again, like, I wish I was around in the 50s and 60s to see. Like, I was just reading an article where Charles Barkley said he had to fly coach one time. He flew coach. He's Charles Barkley. He's a legend. He's the NBA MVP. Dream team. Charles Barkley.
And you're right. And to your point, talking about Michael Jordan when he was down here in Sarasota, I'm sure, playing for the White Sox and had to catch a bus because he was a part of a minor league baseball team. Listen, I've worked in those stadiums where you see the difference between what the majors get and what the minors get. I've seen it firsthand, so I know. But what I'm saying is, none of these women are on a level that is subpar. They are all on that same level. It ain't like we have a WNBA and a minor league WNBA. Okay, we have the W. That's it.
But they're the minor to the NBA. Like you said, they're a tier, they're 10 tiers beneath.
And this is where you and I differ, because I don't feel that way. I don't feel like they are.
But not from a talent standpoint. From a talent standpoint, they're the best women players in the world, right? Their product is 10 tiers beneath the NBA. That's a fact. Ray didn't make that up. The numbers show you that. And just while you were talking, I looked it up. In 2019, average attendance was about 6,000.
Okay.
Right? So in 2019, average attendance was about 6,000. And again, I guess my point sounded stronger when it was 2,000, but 6,000 still not like that's some number that you're going to say, you know, I get it. They're growing. And they just got to continue to deal with those growing pains. What these women who playing now, the Diana Taurasis, the Candace Parkers, right? The women before them, the Cynthia Coopers, the Cheryl Swoops, the Lisa Leslies, the Rebecca Lobos, people who didn't get to play in the WNBA like a Cheryl Miller. Those people are seeing the fruits of their labors now, right? So what these women have to understand is they have to keep pounding that pavement. They're going to see the fruits of their labors later. A Martin Luther King didn't see the country he wanted to see. The fruits of his labors are today. These women have to keep pounding the pavement so the women in 2040 get to have it better. Right now, they just don't. Like, it really, my whole argument is they don't have the money. And the only solution is, let's give them something. Like, we have to give them something. Like,
I'm not saying give. I'm saying invest. And if you say give and invest are the same thing, then I will agree to disagree. I'm saying, as a business owner, as an NBA owner, if you don't see that, as you said, these women are pounding the pavement, and it's not just on the court, it's off the court as well. What they're doing for social injustices, what they're doing for minorities, what they're doing for, I could go down the list of everything that these women do to support young women, to support transgender, LGBTQ plus IA, the whole ball of wax, the whole enchilada. Okay. They are putting themselves out on the front line saying, what we do on the court is one thing, but what we do off the court is going to be our legacy. And that's why I say to you, this is not about a give. This is invest. Invest in these women, invest in this brand, because your return that you're saying is going to come in 2040, these women could be getting in the next 4 years if people would just take the time to actually look at the entire product, not just look at the shortened schedule from May to September, or excuse me, May to October, and what they do on the court.
Let me ask you this, Eric. How do you build the product, right? So again, this is a perfect example because Mark Cuban's he's actually an NBA owner, and he's the guy on Shark Tank, right? So I'm gonna keep using Shark Tank because this is a perfect example. They're presenting their already 25-year business, and you're saying that these owners should invest, right? Yes. So when Mark Cuban sits back and goes, how do I get my money back, right? He asked this question, how am I supposed to make money off this, right? How are they supposed to make money off this? How do you build the product? How do you make people want to come out and watch them play? Because that's what it boils down to. It's not about they deserve. It's about how do we build their revenue stream? How do you make people come out and watch the game? People aren't interested in the game. Again, I'm not talking about Ray. I'm talking about the masses. The numbers show this. People don't want to come watch it. The ratings show that people aren't watching it. People aren't paying for the ticket. That's why the ticket prices are so low. So therein lies the problem. How do you build the product, right? Like there are fair weather, like casual fans, people hate that term, right? Who don't know nothing about basketball, but watching the guy come down the court full speed, watching Russell Westbrook is exciting. Watching Steph Curry is exciting, right? You have to be a real sports fan to enjoy women's basketball. I enjoy it because I enjoy basketball. I coach basketball. I played basketball. I enjoy the fundamentals of the game, right? If the casual fair weather fans that just like excitement, they like seeing guys dunk, they like seeing guys shoot threes, like watching a WNBA game for a lot of people is like watching paint dry. So the question becomes, how do you put a product out that people are willing to buy? That's what this is about. It's about business. They're in this to make money. The players want to be paid more. They want better accommodations. Okay, we need more money. The problem is the product. The problem is like 25 years. The product is about the same as it was 25 years ago. Like the quality of players, like the Cynthia Coopers and Cheryl Swoops, now the Diana Taurasis, the Sue Birds, the Brianna Stewarts, right? Like the product is there. The talent is there, right? How do you get people to want to come watch this? Is the bigger question.
Okay.
So again, if I'm an owner.
So I'm gonna answer that question. How you get people interested, the fair weather fan, the casual fan, the person who just wants to be there for the excitement. How you get them involved is you flood the media airwaves with these faces. You also put them on, as Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner, has done, on different streaming platforms by hitting Facebook, Amazon Prime, and Google and others. What you're doing is you're opening it up to all demographics, not just one concentrated area, not just ESPN or ABC or the W or ESPN2, but you put it on multiple platforms. They have the WNBA League Pass, which again, $17 for the season, it's not a bad deal. The only problem is if the game's on a ESPN or an ABC, it's considered a nationally televised game, which is very well should be. And you know what? Then it's a blackout. So there's give and take, but you find the different ways to get the average person or the casual person to, at the very least, look at it and kind of entertain what this is. And again, I'll go back to my original sentence, what I said to you. And I didn't pay attention to the WNBA. I saw it every once in a while from the beginning in 96 until 2020. Okay. When it was here in my backyard, and as a media guy, I was like, I needed something. I was like, whoa, it's right here. If I have to find myself a way to be a part and get in and do this from a media standpoint, I did. But when I did, I made myself all in. Okay. So now I feel it is my job. It is my obligation. It is it's my job to promote this brand because I know what it can be. I've seen what it can do. I've seen what they've done. I'm invested. What I'm saying is, if an idiot like me, who it took him 23 out of the 25 years, took him 23 years to get to this point, what is stopping everybody else from at the very least taking time out of their day to watch this and understand this is not comparing it to the NBA is, I think, the biggest problem that people have. People want to see the dunks and they want to see the excitement and they want to see this and that. Take time to invest in the game. If you invest in your children and you invest in their soccer games, whether you want to go or not to them, take some time to invest into the WNBA. You just might be surprised at what they can do.
That's so mind-boggling to me that we're like that again, that's where our distinction comes. It's like we owe it to these ladies to at least give them a chance. No, we don't. That's like saying I owe it to McDonald's to at least try their food. I don't. If I don't want to go try it, then I just don't want to go try it. I ask you this: how many WNBA games you been to?
I have been to one, and I'm about to go to two more because the Chicago Sky are in the WNBA finals.
Oh yeah, and I'm pretty sure Phoenix about to go ahead and knock off Vegas tonight. At least that's what I'm thinking is going to happen.
I'm hoping not, because that'll really mess up my travel plans. But if they do, and that's how it happens, then guess what? I'll be there.
Look, Lord forbid your travel plans get messed up and you have to catch multiple flights. We don't want that to happen, right? I just meant I try not to, like, so I did time in the military, right? And I used to get on young guys, man. I try not to compare military life to regular life. Like when people try to go, you got these athletes getting paid this, but we got military guys. Like, no, we made the choice to join the military, and we're not entertainers. Like, this is our country. It's the country we live in, right? Entertainment, right. Any kind of entertainment. That's another thing. People forget sports really is just entertainment. At the end of the day.
We agree on that. It is
right, and it's like I don't do the whole they're overpaid and teachers don't get paid or firefighters don't get paid. No, I'm okay with whatever they make. But what I'm not gonna do is be like they getting paid to play a game. That's a fact. They get paid to do something that they would do for free.
Yes.
This is the fact. We go out to rec leagues and play basketball. Like they're getting paid to do something that they would do for free just because they love it. They have the opportunity to make a living and take care of their families doing this. And then it's like we as fans and media go, that's not enough. Give them more. We're not doing enough for them. But like, I can't, like, if people don't, I can't make people watch it that don't want to watch it. Like, I honestly, I admire your passion for wanting to bring the WNBA to light. I support it wholeheartedly. Again, I watch the WNBA. But when it comes to like, and again, like you said, the whole comparison to the NBA, they did that. The WNBA player is the one that come out and say stuff like, our best player is making this while the eighth guy on the bench in the NBA is making this. That's like the guy at McDonald's complaining about what the CEO of Microsoft make. They ain't the same company. You can't be mad. You can't be checking nobody else's pockets. So they created this dynamic of comparing them to the NBA. So now people are going to respond with, your game isn't exciting. People are not watching your game as much. Your rating not as high. You don't have the same revenue. You don't have a LeBron James. You don't have a Steph Curry, right? Like
but you do. And okay, you're saying you don't have those. You have a Diana Taurasi. You have a Sue Bird. You have a Brittany Griner. You have a Candace Parker.
No, we already acknowledged. I named all the names just like you did. Like listen, I'm a fan of sports, right? They don't have that kind of star power. They just don't, right? And you know what's funny about this? Because we tried to escape the whole, you said take the women out. But the reason this is the issue is because they're women, right? Because the NHL don't get no kind of coverage and nobody cares, right? The NHL Stanley Cup can come and go. And it'll get a blurb on the bottom of your TV on ESPN while they talk about a meaningless middle of the season basketball game. Like that's how it works because the NHL is the NHL. Of the four major sports, it's the least of the four major.
I will agree with you wholeheartedly on that. But what I will say to you is at least they get a blurb. The WNBA during the All-Star game. All right. And we got to make our final points because I got the rest of the crew ready to chime in here tonight on this one. But what I'm saying is this. The All-Star game happened. I was blessed to be there. So actually, I'm sorry. I've been to 2 WNBA games. I've been to the All-Star game and I've been to a WNBA Chicago Sky playoff game. I'm about to hit 3 and 4. My point is the very next day, I saw nothing on ESPN where the game was played on that network, nothing regards to the WNBA. And I was like, are you kidding me? You put this on your platform. You put this on your network and you don't even spend 3 minutes to talk about it. The most I saw, and I take that back, the most I saw was a blurb going across the bottom saying which team won, Team USA versus Team WNBA, and who were some of the, of course, high profile stars of that game. That's all I saw. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. That's what started my whole just inferiority about, I just can't believe we're not spending more time talking about this. But you know what, Lynn, you are right about this. Our women need to be showcased more. All right. And I don't know who needs to make the investment, but somebody needs to make the investment, because in my mind and how I feel and how I will forever feel is that for 25 years, these women, whether it started with Rebecca Lobo and Cheryl Swoops to now the Brittany Griners and the Breonna Stewarts and every woman in between, they put it all out there. And whether we supported them then or we support them now, they are due. They are due something. I don't care how small or how insignificant people may think it is, but they are due something, be it monetary, be it better accommodations, or just be it in my estimation, just basic human decency. Because you're right, they're entertainers, but we highlight them. We just don't highlight them enough.
I'm with it. I will say this. How long you been doing the sports arena?
Sports Arena has been around for about 4 or 5 years now.
Right. I'll say this to you. I watch y'all every Monday. I started because my guy Tyrus, but I chime in, watch y'all talk y'all stuff, right?
And you are coming back. I'm just going to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, this is not the last you've seen of him. He will be back on the Sports Arena. Yes, sir.
Please tell Megan Price don't get on the show calling me the He-Man woman hater. I am not. I just have an opinion on the idea of the WNBA deserving more. I will say this, the Sports Arena, great show, great content. You have 6 people who get on here and really know their stuff. I would venture to say y'all know more. Like I feel that way sometimes. I look at some of these people on TV, like the ex-players who know nothing, and go, I could do what they doing better than them. But just because you're putting out a product, you're putting out content, don't nobody owe you nothing. Like you have to continue to pound the pavement and build your product until enough people watch it, where sponsors go, oh, okay, where YouTube go, oh, we can monetize you, and Facebook go, we can monetize you, and then ESPN say, look at that young guy Eric over there, let's put him on up. But just because you're doing it, nobody owe you nothing. And I like your show, but don't nobody owe neither one of us nothing. You get what I'm saying?
Listen, I completely agree with you. Lynn, thank you so much. Like I said, sir, I enjoy having these conversations. See, these are the conversations that I love getting into, because at the end of the day, we may agree to disagree. But like I said, I respect what you do. I respect who you are. Your knowledge is something, sir, that I really tap into, because I've watched you on Say What, Say It Again. And I love just how you bring not only that raw energy, but you bring the impact and the conviction. And that's the conversations that I love having. So like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this will not be the last time you see this man on the Sports Arena. But Lynn, thank you so much for joining me. I got to get the rest of the crew in here, sir. Have a wonderful evening.
Sir. I'll be watching the rest of the show.
Appreciate you.